Hello everyone, welcome back. So today it's a follow-up video to my last video on the top 10 most iconic men's fragrances ever. So it's a question that a few people have asked, and a very good question. What do I mean by iconic when I'm talking about a fragrance? So an iconic fragrance is one that is remembered by a large number of people and has a smell that is instantly recognizable, and it's one of those fragrances which really defines an epoch in which it existed, and it was definitive at the time that it was released and gave... Well, okay, yeah, sorry, you got a bit muddled up there. We'll try that again. Okay, take two. So an iconic fragrance is a fragrance that has a powerful scent, a scent that's recognizable, a fragrance which has become embossed in the minds of a generation of people. It's a fragrance which has to be really memorable in its name, in the way that it's... okay, no, we'll just try that, yeah, sorry. I'll try again. Okay, take three, yeah. Okay, so what do I mean by an iconic fragrance? Well, I haven't got a clue. Hello everyone, welcome back to all of you in the Smelly Army. So today it's going to be an extra video, a follow-up video to my recent video about the top 10 most iconic men's fragrances of all time. When I did that video, I did 10 fragrances that I thought were really iconic, and I asked people to say which ones they thought I left out that should have been in the list. And of course there were lots of suggestions, and people really had some strong opinions sometimes, saying how could you possibly leave this one or that one. And there were two or three that I had to admit, yeah, they're probably right. That really is every bit as iconic as one of two of the ones that I did include in my list. And in one case, I've actually bought the fragrance especially to put it in this video. So let's get stuck into it. It's just going to be 3 extra ones, so it's an addition to the previous top 10. One of the big ones then that so many people commented, and thank you for the comments, was Acqua di Gio from the house of Giorgio Armani. Acqua di Gio. There's something about how you pronounce it. I've seen people complain that it's not supposed to be Gio, Acqua di Gio or something. I'll try and do my best, but I always have called it Acqua di Gio. It's going to be hard for me to break that habit. Anyway, the fragrance was released back in 1996. Perfumer for this one, Alberto Morillas. The notes in this fragrance are bergamot neroli, green tangerine, aquatic notes, jasmine petal, rock rose, rosemary, persimmon, don't know what that is, and patchouli. That doesn't tell you that much about how it smells, but my description hopefully will. Of course, it's a really famous aquatic, fresh, masculine scent. One of the real stars of the aquatic type of fragrances that became popular in the 1990s. Perhaps Cool Water from Davidoff in 1988 had a slightly aquatic tone to it. And of course the name Cool Water, gives that aquatic idea straight away. I put in my last list Ise Miyake pour Homme as another aquatic one from 1994, which I do think is slightly similar to this. But many of you said this is way more iconic, widely known than that one. So what do we mean by iconic? As I said in the intro, difficult to say, but we're talking about fragrances perhaps that the average person in the street might well know. So you can't really include Fragcom favourites. Maybe we think Interlude Man by Amouage is iconic, but we're talking about fragrances that have big sales, have made a real mark on the world outside of the fragrance community on YouTube or online, and maybe have a smell that is recognizable in the air, perhaps even by some normal people who are not massively into fragrances. And Acqua di Gio certainly has that. It was really widely worn in the 90s and well into the 2000s, and still is today. I think I've read at some point it was, or may still be, the biggest selling men's fragrance of all time. Really nice freshness, a kind of lemony bergamot opening, definitely a very strong aquatic, slightly synthetic tone, a sort of sporty fragrance. It's not called something sport, but it's very much in the line with some things out there that have the word sport in them. A sporty, fresh, yet masculine fragrance. Very, very crisp, very nice smells. Herbal, a little bit. I get something in there that reminds me of tea. There's a twinge of sweetness as well, and a very, very likeable, mass appealing scent. worn widely. I think in the United States, even more of a big hit and worn more widely perhaps than here in the UK, where I think it's pretty popular, but I think it was really, really massive in the States for a while, and kind of associated with the kind of the average guy at college or something, the smell of your youth that girls recognise. Lots of guys smell of this. Acqua di Gio, very, very nice. Not a massive favourite of mine, but I bought it especially to add to my collection for this video. It's good. It's sold widely and successfully for many years for a reason. You can't go wrong if you wear it, and it's a very, very pleasant scent. I slightly prefer Chanel Allure Homme Sport when I'm in the mood for that sort of sporty, fresh, slightly synthetic aquatic smell. But Acqua di Gio, rightly, deserves to be considered one of the most iconic fragrances for men of all time. Moving on then, the next one that loads of people commented, and you're right guys, absolutely, DRAKKAR Noir from Guy Laroche, 1982, an iconic and famous fragrance worn by millions of men around the world. So this one was composed by perfumer Pierre Vaughin. It is an aromatic fougere scent. Notes in this one, rosemary, artemisia, lavender, basil, lemon verbena. We've also got bergamot, lemon, coriander, carnation, cinnamon, juniper, jasmine, leather, sandalwood, fir, amber, patchouli, oak moss, vetiver and cedar. So it's an aromatic fougere. So that means fern-like in smell, the fougere thing, and aromatics are perhaps herbal notes that complement the general green mossiness that we expect with these fragrances. I've got a modern formulation here, and to me, it's a very piney green opening on this one. It's rather soapy or even deodorant-like, and Claire from the Smurfy Girly channel said it reminded her of Radox Herbal Shower Gel, one of the particular ones of those. So there's something piney and green, quite herbal about it, and also a fresh, soapy kind of feel that does remind me a little bit of if you use some Right Guard, or one of the Fragrantica reviewers said if you've gone too heavy on the Axe deodorant or Lynx deodorant. There's this deodorant soapiness about it, the modern version. Let me know if you smelled an old vintage one and it used to be different back in the day. It's very pleasant. I don't think it's really old-fashioned smelling. I think it's a nice, soapy, fresh, clean, kind of piney and green shower gel soapy smell, great for after the gym or even to wear to the gym. Kind of sporty, but in a slightly more old-fashioned way than Acqua di Gio, not aquatic, more of your green, rugged, fresh, clean, masculine smell. And a real classic, huge seller. Everyone knows the bottle, and you can get it really cheaply. Well worth trying if you see it in the store and you've maybe just passed it by because it seems a bit, oh, that's something my dad would wear, my granddad. Give it a try. It actually smells really good and you can still wear it and enjoy it today. Last but not least then, a third one. And of course, there's still going to be a few that you're going to say, well, you should have included Obsession by Calvin Klein or maybe Eternity. But I've decided to just do 3 more today. Otherwise, I'd be here forever. You know, so many iconic fragrances, aren't there? But this one, I thought, yeah, you're right. It has to be in the list. And it's Polo Green from Ralph Lauren. First released in 1978 and composed by the perfumer Carlos Benaim. Notes on this one, according to one website: artemisia, basil, thyme, cumin, coriander, cloves, conifer woods, patchouli, oak moss, vetiver, leather and tobacco. Again, it's very green and mossy. I have a vintage formula here from the mid-80s and it's changed a bit. This one is a little bit better and richer than today's version to me. It's an eau de toilette splash. It's very green, it's mossy, it does have a manly ruggedness again, a little bit more leathery and a little bit more heavy and less soapy than DRAKKAR Noir. Of course, this is a modern DRAKKAR Noir. This is a vintage Polo Green, but it smells really good and like it's not aged badly, my bottle here. Really green and rugged. There is a tobacco note, which there's a sort of a bit more of a leathery denseness, maybe mixed with the tobacco, giving it a bit more heaviness, but also it does have this very green, fresh thing. Apparently it was the kind of scent that your country club guys back in the 80s, the successful men out there then would country clubs in the USA would reek of this stuff. Apparently, I wouldn't know, but it certainly has this fantastic bottle design. All 3 of the bottle designs are pretty recognizable in your subconscious. Even if you're not a fragrance fan, you're sort of aware of them. And this is one of the best ever bottle designs. I really like the simplicity with the classic Ralph Lauren logo. Beautiful green, mossy, rugged, manly, fresh, yet with some depth, woodiness. Oak moss, real oak moss, probably in the old formula that I've got here, and that gives it this very much a dad feeling, a kind of reassuring masculinity that will be off-putting to many people and will smell dated. but it's still on the shelves. There are still older gentlemen enjoying it, and perhaps us fragrance connoisseurs with an eye to the past to enjoy the older fragrances still might regard this as something of an all-time classic. So those are my 3 extras, the add-ons to my last list. Let me know which ones I've still left out. I'm sorry if I've annoyed anybody by any of my omissions. Omissions, that was, with an O, okay? Right, so thank you very much for watching. As ever, remember, whatever you are doing in life, let's project. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.